Well, not quite the plain sailing we expected for Pakistan. 10-wicket win over India and a lower total to chase against New Zealand, but just finding themselves in a bit of strife. First captain Babar Azam, then Fakhar Zaman, both departing 58 for 2 at the end of 10 overs. Tim Southee, the first to take a wicket, and Ish Sodhi taking a wicket in his very first over, coming in the ninth over. Run rate required is not monumental, but it's that time of the innings that things can start happening. And that's why we're here on Cricbuzz Comm Box, to try and put things in a little bit of perspective. I'm joined by Harsha Bhogle. Harsha, your wish in a sense has come true from a Pakistan fan's perspective. They are being tested here.
Yeah, I think they needed a tough game, and it was a tough game till the last 2 sixes came about. Last 2 overs, 19 runs. They've got a couple of sixes all along. They only had 5 boundaries in the first 8.5 overs. And that was hurting them in the game against India, even though the singles were not happening that often, though they ran beautifully. They were getting a boundary every over in the first 5-6 overs. That wasn't happening here. And it's the 6 that Hafiz has hit. 1 6 before that Fakhar Zaman hit. I think that has just made things a little bit easier. They'll still have to be careful though, because at 7.8 cannot go up to 9. And as the overs get smaller, that moves very quickly. And with Hafiz, you're not going to get the quick singles to rotate the strike.
Yes, but that 6 just showed that the kind of approach he now takes to his batting, particularly up the order. He does a bit of that in the CPL as well. But just looking at it from the bowler's point of view, a quick word on Tim Southee to start with. Landmark for him. Third player only in the history of the game to have 100 wickets in Test, ODI and T20 internationals.
I mean, he's been around for such a long time now. And I always thought T20 was his weakest format. And yet, if you see what he's done today, what has Southee done? Senior player, 3 overs, 1 for 12. They needed someone to establish a little bit of resistance early up. And he's done that. Look at the others. Trent Bolt, 2 overs 11. Mitch Santner, 2 overs 13. It was Tim Southee's 3 overs 1 for 12 that has kept New Zealand in the game. I think Test is his strongest format, though. I think it goes Test, ODI, and T20. My gut feel was that they might actually prefer Adam Milne or Kyle Jamieson to him. But every time you think that he does well, he's a fantastic cricketer.
But interesting, the other 2 names on the list, a little bit different in terms of which format you'd attribute as the best to each of them. Shakib Al Hasan, Lasith Malinga being the other 2.
Yes. I think Shakib's, I don't think he has one preferred option. But with Malinga, definitely once the body started to give way, the white ball much greater than the others. But what can they do now? They've got 9.5 overs at 7.5. They've just got to ensure they keep scoring 6, 7 runs every over. And I think they should win it in the 19th.
Well, interesting you say that, because Rizwan has been the one who's been the calm head in the previous partnership as well with Babar Azam against India. Now he has to sort of take ownership and not let anybody else take over the innings. Hafiz can do what he does. But from New Zealand's perspective, who do you reckon is the key from what you've seen so far? Only 1 for Southee left. Sodhi has 3 overs.
Yes, and they've got to get those overs out of Nisham and Mitchell. I thought Nisham bowled a really good first over, slipped that in, but they went after him in the second over. I think if they've got to win this game from here, Ish Sodhi and Tim Southee have to pick up wickets, not just bowl quiet overs, but pick up wickets. I think that'll be the key. So yeah, they'll look at those. They've got 6 bowling options, but they want maximum from these 2.
Yeah, they certainly will. They'd thrown in Daryl Mitchell, of course, as a pinch hitter with bat in hand. The all-rounders will have to do the job for them. Specialist leg spinner. And then, of course, hope for a bonus from the only person we haven't talked about before we wrap up, Harsha, Trent Bolt. When it's not swinging, he just didn't seem to turn up.
And we've seen that before. He really wants the ball swinging back. His alternative is to bowl a slower ball, go full wide of off stump. But that's not Trent Bolt. Trent Bolt is someone who's beautiful from left arm over, swinging it back in. When the swing goes, he goes around the wicket too. But if it's not swinging, yes, he's not the same bowler by any stretch of imagination. But Williamson's played his cards early. Out of first 10 overs, Bolt and Southee, his 2 most experienced bowlers, have bowled 5 out of the top 10. So now he's got to make do with everybody else.
Well, I did say we were going to wrap up Cricbuzz Comm Box, Harsha, but I'm going to have to keep it going for just a moment longer because the Comm Box has taken a wicket. It's something I haven't seen but I'm told it's an outstanding catch. Possibly the catch of the tournament, they're saying. So we'll just stay on it for a moment. But whether the catch was brilliant or not, the fact is it's a wicket. It's a wicket at a time they would have needed it. The professor's gone. And does this change your assessment from 30 seconds ago?
Not so much, because I think his role was to go for it. Now what will be important is that Shoaib Malik doesn't eat up deliveries and put too much pressure on Rizwan. Because if Shoaib Malik eats up deliveries and you lose Rizwan, then Asif Ali is a designated big hitter. I mean, they've got batting Asif Ali, Shadab, Imad Wasim, Hassan Ali, but they don't want to, from their point of view, get into the stress of a run chase, which traditionally they've not been great at.
Yeah, well, that's the stress that they've been put under. And if they can come over this or overcome this, whichever way you look at it, then it'll probably stand them in good stead. But for a moment, a spectacular catch just put a little bit of a dent. And it was, in fact, Devon Conway. I'm sure it'll be talked about a lot. For now, we'll leave it at that and see how things wrap up. We'll see you at the end. This is all from Cricbuzz Comm Box.